Schmidt will put the mic into, I think, referee Lou Exotic tonight. Let's see if we can pick that up down on the field. The coin toss.
Mr. Isaac, referee, before I read your thing, very serious about sportsmanship. That's, to me, that's the ultimate part of this game, is showing good sportsmanship. You know? I always tell people, you know, I know it's a sad thing to say, but sometimes if you're like one divorce away from maybe being in their school district, or you know how the families are these days. So listen, you all get up the same and you go to bed the same, and that's what we expect of you. Okay, so now let me read this to you. PA requires all registered sports officials to enforce the sportsmanship rules for coaches and contestants. Actions meant to demean opposing players, teams, spectators, officials are not in the highest ideals of interscholastic education will not be tolerated. Let today's contest reflect mutual respect. Yes. Okay, we've already had the coin toss. You have won. Homer Center has won the coin toss and is deferred. I'm going to signal that to the press box. Okay. Homer Center has won the toss and will defer.
The Wildcats have won the toss and deferred.
All right, very good. Thanks, Nick, for picking that up. Ward, the rest of the Maine's chiropractic starting lineups.
We left Kobe Doherty all by himself. Left tackle will be Seth Purvey. She's a senior, 5'9", 222. TJ Tagliotti is the left guard, a senior, 6'2", 265. The center is Tyler Dunn, another senior, 5'8", 236. The right guard is Alex Purvey. She's a junior, 5'9", 231. Dakota Colasar, a junior, 6'1", 229 is the right tackle. And Jake Ciani will be playing a wideout. Actually, I think the tight end tonight is Trevor Malacker.
No, he's a fullback.
He's going to be fullback. Okay, I was thinking of defense. My bad. Jake is a tight end, and he's a senior, 6 foot, 179. On offense, in the quarterback position, we Ben Schmidt again, the sophomore, 6 foot, 166. Swingback will be Jacob Zeiler, senior, 5'7", 168. Fullback Trevor Malacker, senior at 5'9", 225. And Logan Williams will be the tailback. He is a senior, 6'2", 161. Mark?
All right, that's the Colonial Motor Mart, Colonial Toyota pregame show. We're set for the start of tonight's game, as you just heard down on the field. Homer Center won the toss but deferred, so Penns Manor will get the football to start this football game. Penns Manor's offense averaging 30 points a game, 203 yards rushing, 42 passing, 245 total. Homer Center's defense, 42 points a game, of course inflated by the loss to Ligonier Valley, 209 yards rushing, 170 passing, 379 total. So that number is going to have to come down if Homer Center is going to have a successful season. Alumni night here. Had many of the alumni performing in the band. That's always a great night. Ben Schmidt has it teed up for the Wildcats. Back deep, Matt Smoji and Tommy Hamilton. And a little bit of a delay. They're waiting to get 12 minutes on the clock. They're on the pro schedule, right? 15 minutes.
And they're having a little problem.
Now they got it.
There it goes.
Smoji and Hamilton. The up man in that triangle formation is Garrett Patterson. Ben Schmidt, Wildcats decked out in their black home uniforms, black pants, black jerseys, little squib kick, and it's taken by Hamilton at the 19, not Hamilton, that was the up man, Garrett Patterson, who returns it over the 35. He picked it up at the 29-yard line. On the kick coverage, Brennan Mogul for the Homer Center Wildcats. So Penns Manor will take over. We'll call it the 37-yard line.
Nice tackle by Mogul there, grabbed him at the ankles and tripped him up. Did have a gap if he was able to avoid that. This is, to me, Mark, is an important test for this defense. They have got to show they have an ability to slow teams down, even stop them, which we haven't seen so far.
Split backs behind the converted guard. That's right, converted guard Jimmy Leitner, and jumping on the right side is Jake Ciani. And that'll be a 5-yard mark-off on the Homer Center Wildcats, something that plagued them last week, if memory serves.
And again, it's a sign of being aggressive and wanting to get off the ball, but you got to be under control. You know, you hate to give up 5 yards right off the sweat.
So 1st and 5. Defensive move for Homer Center. They slide Trevor Malacker up to a defensive end position. Freshman Justin Walbeck gets to start. He's their leading tackler. Give around the left end, and with the footballs, the super sophomore Lee had been good running room into Wildcat territory as a flag flies at the 49-yard line, so we'll see if the play stands. It was good for a first down. Lieb tackled by Kobe Doherty, and Coach Page says it's on Penn's Manor. By the way, congratulations to Dimitri Lieb. I handed him his trophy for the IRMC Fan Favorite of the Week for Week 1. He really liked it. There'll be a picture up on our Facebook page. And congratulations to last week's winner. Getting the most votes was Logan Ongst of Northern Cambria. Boy, there were a lot of candidates
there's been some
so deserving last week.
Offensive performances early on this year.
He'll receive a trophy as well next week from McCormick's Sport and Award. Ward, I was a little bit surprised you had the nerve to come into the press box tonight with Travis Williams, the public address announcer. You know, the Haas's Player of the Week. We were listening last week when you stiffed his son Logan.
Here we go. That's the worst job in the world, is to have to pick one guy.
They've
Put him in a hat and pull one name out.
So it's a hold or a clip on Penn's Manor? Holding backs them up to the 39, so it's now 1st and 8.
Spot foul there.
The give on not a Connor. Leitner going to throw underneath, almost intercepted, and it is intercepted by Williams. It went in and out of his hands, into the hands of the intended receiver of Penn's Manor, Matt Smoji. He lost control of it, and as the two were going down, Williams came back up with it. Holy moly.
Good job there. Pressure. We've been talking about it for 2 games, Mark. That time they got some pressure on the quarterback. Leitner kind of ducked it out there. The ball kind of floated in a big pick. Logan Williams played it beautifully, and Homer now sets up on the 48 of Penn's Manor.
So the Wildcats break huddle. Logan Williams, who had 300 yards rushing last week, dots the I. And back to pass, Ben Schmidt. Throwing, deflected. And they have some tall guys in there, and Brendan Beard, the defensive end at 6'5", 205, knocked that down.
I got to talk to him a little in the summertime, ran into him, and he is every bit of 6'5", and they're going to take advantage of that, not only defensively, Mark, but watch for some fades if they get near the end zone. They may need to roll Ben out to get away from Baird.
2nd down and 10, toss right to Williams, makes a couple of moves, but they have it bottled up, and he'll lose a couple of yards back to the 50-yard line.
Tommy Hamilton broke through, and you can see the philosophy right now is they're attacking the wings. They're not going to let him get to the wings. They're going to have to force him inside. So Homer's going to need to adjust some of their offensive thinking.
So it'll be 3rd down and 12 for Homer Center. The Wildcat offense averaging 25 points a game. Of course, they put up 50 on the board last week, so that tells you about week 1, right? You do the math, Ward.
It's a little easy to average after 2 weeks, yeah.
From the shotgun with the sidecar left, Williams, Ben Schmidt, 7 for 21 this season. Pressure coming from Hamilton. Ben steps up in the pocket, breaks one tackle, gets into Penn's Manor territory to about the 45-yard line, but about 7 yards shy of the first down. He had big-time pressure from Tommy Hamilton up the middle, who then recovered to make the tackle, and it'll be 4th and 8 from the Comet 46, and out comes the punt team.
And I remember Hamilton from a couple years ago, and though he was a young player then, he was giving Wildcats fits, and he's doing it already tonight here. He's been a factor in this series.
Kobe Doherty to punt, 6 punts for a 35-yard average. Matt Schmoji back to receive the punt from Kobe. Long snapper. Is that McCoy again? And it's a good floating kick. Schmoji takes it, drops it at the 8-yard line, picks it up, far sideline, and he's met and going to be dropped by Travis Mock. And also, I think, again on the special teams was Brennan Mogul on the punt coverage team. Good punt, 38 yards, and a short return.
Yeah, Cobe's been struggling with the punting game early on there, but that time he got into one, and that's what the Wildcats needed. Discouraging on the drive, an incompletion, and then 2 runs.
Salzburg returned the opening kickoff. They lead Blairsville 6-0. Extra point was blocked. 15-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Credit to Penn's Manor's defense for bailing out the O on that turnover. And they're going to give to Hamilton around the right side. Logan Williams trying to get the angle on him. He can't do it. He has a first down as he gets up near the 27-yard line, near sideline. Ben Schmidt, Deshaun Robinson, and some others came across the way. Logan Williams, as I mentioned, but it's 12 yards and a first down.
Play very similar to how Purchase Line ran it. The Homers has got to get stronger on the wings. You saw what the Comets were doing. They were getting penetration. Nothing there. They caved in that side, easy turn upfield, and when Logan missed them, that gave him another 5.
Hamilton was injured a good bit last year. 15 rushes, 65 yards coming in. Motion man is Hamilton again, but they're going to give up the middle to the fullback Smoji, and the Wildcats defense it pretty nicely. A yard, maybe 2 at the most, on the stop for the Homer Center Wildcats was Rodney Johns, the big nose guard, and by big I mean 6'3", 311 pounds. We're 3 minutes into the game. No score. Penns Manor's second possession.
It's important for Rodney to dominate in there. As big as he is, he needs to take both sides of that center and just kind of eliminate that gap.
Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Wildcats off defense, as I mentioned, giving up 379 yards per game. Jimmy Leitner, who's 6 of 9 for 67%, sends a motion man. That is Lieb, and they hand it to him, and he breaks a tackle. First down yardage up the left sideline in front of head coach Bill Packer in the Comet bench. He rips off close to 12 yards. Finally, Ben Schmidt, the safety, tracked him down. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 38, but still enough to move the chains. And Ward, this offense of Penns Manor, we mentioned, has given Homer Center fits through the years. They come at you from all different angles, a lot of motion, a lot of jet sweeps, buck sweeps with the running backs, and some inside reverses I'm sure we'll see before too long. And so far, so good for Penns Manor.
The pressure's on the ends. The ends have got to get in and hold their ground. They can't allow him to get around the corner like that, dip his shoulder and down the sidelines for 10.
Split backs this time, and they hand it to Smoji. Makes a quick move. He's dragged down by Kobe Doherty off on the far side of the field, but he got about 10 more up near the 48-yard line. They put it down at the 47, so it'll be 2nd down and 1. They're just getting 8, 9, 10, 12 yards at a time right now.
They've got Homer's defense guessing now. This is why you don't read, you attack. You cannot read this offense, or you're going to be watching these guys run by you all night. You've got to get some penetration. Slow that down. Dimitri
Lieb, wingman to the right, Hamilton to the left, and it's Lieb, and they hand it to the fullback, and Smoji plows for a first down. He plows into Homer Center territory for another first down. Something in watching some video, when they run that deep motion, generally the handoff's going to the fullback, and it did that time. Not all the time, but quite a bit. High percentage. Justin Walbeck, Homer Center's leading tackler, only a freshman, made that tackle.
Well, again, the influence on the motion. The defense is watching all this stuff go on, and they're not occupying their spaces. You got to come up, close gaps, and rely on your teammates to cover their areas.
From the 47 of the Wildcats, the give in motion is Hamilton. Logan Williams has him. Hamilton gets 3 yards to the Wildcat 44-yard line. Hamilton getting up a little bit slowly, but he flips the ball to referee Lou Idzotic. Want to reach out the booth and say hello to our young Wildcat fan, Ian Graham, down there.
He's not paying any attention.
We'll try it again.
There he is.
Ian Graham's looking up at the press box. Grandma Vicky Smith down there, and Mom, hey, Ian, how we doing? Has his Wildcat jersey on. 2nd down and 7, motion man Hamilton. They give on a reverse, just as we talked about. And Lieb is bottled up and down he goes. He couldn't turn the corner. That play was blown up nicely by Homer Center. Deshaun Robinson made the tackle, but some initial penetration, Ward, I think, made the difference. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
I'll tell you what made the difference. If you saw 24 come down and stand there and turn that in, that's what made the difference. You don't allow them on the wing. They got to turn in. That's where your pursuit is. Even what pursuit we have was there tonight.
3rd down and 7. Ball at the 44-yard line. Our statistician is back in the house, Jerry Rosside. Jerry waved to everybody out there in Radio Land. Our spotter in the booth is Denny Mester, who never takes a day off, unlike Jerry. And our executive producer of Wildcat Sports is Michael Burdig. Timeout on the field called by the Comets with 5:54 to play in the first quarter. We're scoreless on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. As we come back, motion man Hamilton around the right end, inside the 40, makes a man miss, but there's a flag on the play, and he's tackled down near the 37-yard line, but Ward, it looks like a hold.
Yeah, we saw it here, Mark. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was Logan Williams. Yeah, it probably was from behind there. He was just about to grab the runner, and he got nailed. And that's a big break there. Homer did a pretty good job of coming up on that. So they might have stopped that otherwise without the block there. But the block sprung him for the first. Had the first down. Nice job though on a little more penetration. Now they really need to put pressure on the quarterback. He has not shown any ability to me to throw the ball, Mark. So let's force that out of him here.
Trips to the left near the Penns Manor bench, 3rd and 20, and they give it up the middle, and Homer center not fooled at all, and there's a flag coming in as well. Smogy was swarmed by TJ Taglietti and also Trevor Malacker, Justin Walbeck in there.
It's in the backfield. I think it'd be some kind of motion, wouldn't you? Alignment problem?
It was a late flag, though. It wasn't flown. At least I didn't see it thrown immediately. Illegal procedure on Penns Manor, so they'll decline it.
Well, with the help of penalties, the defense was able to stem the tide that time. Let's see if they can get their offense going. This is what I expected. It's going to be a battle.
Penns Manor sends out the punt team, and the long snapper is Dimitri Lieb, the sophomore, although it looks like Tommy Hamilton. Yeah, it is Hamilton that's going to center. I was given Lieb. Scratch that. The punter is Lieb. Logan Williams, the deep man, stands at his 22. Lieb's kick is floating towards Logan's direction at the 28. Breaks one tackle and runs into Comet, and he fumbled the football, and it's picked up by the Penns Manor Comets, and they have the turnover. Brandon Galantine. We're going to have a media timeout with 5:09 remaining in the first half. Penns Manor going to have the ball at the 31-yard line of the Homer Center Wildcats. And we will come back with more after this scoreless game on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Back with you at Memorial Field out of the media timeout. Penns Manor going to start at the 31-yard line with 5:09 remaining.
That's a good tackle. Right in the breadbasket, right underneath where he was carrying the ball, and he just popped loose.
Player in there for the Comets, Zach O'Neill. Wide out in motion is Lieb, and Hamilton has the football, and he breaks a couple of tackles and has a first down inside the 20-yard line. Some not so good tackling, let's put it that way. I was going to use the word lousy.
Well, they went to a Wildcat formation that time. Just put Hamilton there, took the direct snap, and off he went with the motion play. And they're blocking the ends well. The Cats, again, you've got to attack. Those corners have got to come up fast and foul that blocking up, take it out so they can't make those turns. 12 yards, that's way too much.
Travis Mock on the tackle, tied on the team with 12 tackles, tied for second. Hamilton again from the Wildcat. Motion man is Lieb, and they hand it to Lieb around the left end. He has running room. Good block on Cyani, tied him up. And Lieb inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Toby Doherty was over there, Mark, and he shedded a blocker to make that play.
Actually, Justin Walbeck credited with the tackle. 5 yards. It'll be second down and 5. 4:35 left in this scoreless first quarter, but the Comets are in the Alexander Strength Development red zone.
Cats have got to start shedding these blocks, get into the way of these runners.
Receiver to the right is Galantine. And Hamilton fumbles the football on the direct snap from the Wildcat, and he gets it back, but he's going to lose 2 or 3 yards as there were 2 black jerseys converging on him, but he did well to get the ball back. If you're an athlete that takes your training seriously, then work with someone who takes it just as seriously. Contact Alexander Strength Development of Indiana. Alexander Strength Development, South 6th Street in the UPS building. Check them out on Facebook at Alexander Strength Development. In 3 short weeks, it's amazing what they've done with my broadcast partner, Ward Hilliard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go as far as chiseled yet, but man, you're heading there.
It's like a ghost.
Galantine to the right. Hamilton going to hand it off to Smoji, trying to get to the edge. They get one block, but Logan Williams has him, and he slips it, but he had help, and they finish him off. Logan going to get credit for half a tackle there. And I'm not sure who came in to finish him off for Homer Center. Ben Schmidt and Travis Mock again. They put the football down just outside the 15-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down and about 7 to go as we approach the 3-minute mark of this scoreless first quarter.
Yeah, he didn't make the tackle, but he stopped the run. He stopped the progress, and that allowed the pursuit to get there. And that's the key. Do not allow them to clean turn upfield.
Timeout on the field called by Penns Manor. Indiana Regional Medical Center High School Sports Night continues from our S&T Bank broadcast booth. S&T Bank salutes all of the Heritage Conference athletes from the gridiron to the classroom. S&T Bank. Scoreless, back with a big 4th down play for the Comets deep in Wildcat territory after this on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Coming back at you on a 4th down and 7. Leitner back at quarterback under center, and he's booting to his right, throwing downfield, and it's out of bounds. He might have caught it, but he's out of bounds, almost out of our view, and the Wildcats are going to take over. We'll step out briefly. Scoreless on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Back with you, but Homer Center, we're going to take a quick break because they didn't have enough folks on the field, and Coach Page isn't happy about it as he storms out to the offensive huddle. 2:47 left in the first quarter. Penns Manor nothing, Homer Center nothing on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Back with you, and they give up the middle as we come back to Logan Williams, and not a lot going on. A gain of just a yard or two. Jimmy Leitner on the stop. Nick Schmidt, our sideline reporter, down on the line there. Nick, what's going on with the Wildcats? Penns Manor defending it pretty well so far.
Yeah, and jumping back to Penns Manor's offense real quick, a lot of what they're running is just mainly dives and sweeps, and Homer Center's starting to catch on to that, but you want to be careful here because once you get used to that sweep action, they're going to start tossing it deep to Brandon Baird. They're a big guy.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. Give off of left tackle to Logan Williams. A little more running room that time, but shy of a first down. Brandon Beard, that big defensive end, made the tackle, and Logan gets to about the 28-yard line, so it's going to be, or 23-yard line, I should say. It's 3rd down and a solid 2. Gain of 5 for Williams.
And this is what they got to do, is if they're penetrating the ends, use the inside.
Ben Schmidt, and now we have a flag from the line judge, and both teams have been rather sloppy in the penalty department. This might, let's see who this is going to go against. Offside on Homer Center.
Boy, that's bad.
Penalties for these two teams entering the game. The Wildcats had committed 13 for 140, and Penns Manor wore 21 penalties for 188.
That doesn't get it done. And then this one certainly isn't going to get it done. It's Homer's struggling right now to move the ball. Had a chance for not an easy, but a relatively easy 3 yards to get a first down. Now they got 8.
3rd down and 8, and they come out in a power I. And Ben Schmidt going to go play action. He has Ciani wide open, but he doesn't see him, and now he's going to be sacked back inside the 15-yard line. Ciani was running free, and Ben just didn't spot him. It looked like the play was designed to come near side, and Schmidt, again, faced with great pressure, and the O-line really didn't give him a chance.
Well, once again, we talked about this, the schemes that the Comets use. They look at tendencies, they look at weaknesses. I know Homer's pass blocking has not been good, and it showed it there.
Snap from center, taken by Kobe Doherty. Floating kick, Smoji fields it at the 48 of Homer Center. Heads far sideline, gets by a couple of defenders on his feet at the 30. That's Hamilton or no, it is Smoji down the left sideline at the 10, the 5. Did he get into the end zone? He did. Touchdown, Smoji. 48-yard punt return, and he broke a couple of tackles along the way, and he gives Penns Manor the lead 6-0 with 1:05 remaining in the first quarter. Well done by the senior Smoji.
Well, Homer's kick coverage has been kind of average throughout the course of the first two games. That's hard to make any kind of judgment. But that was just a nice run back by Smoji, well blocked. And once again, nobody touched him that I could see. Maybe one of you guys saw somebody at least try to slow him down. Just a great run. Wildcats are down 6-0.
Penns Manor does not have a place kicker. They've gone for 2, and they've been successful 6 out of 8 times this season. And they direct snap, rolling to his right is Leitner, throws back of the end zone, and it is caught for the 2-point conversion. So they're now 7 of 9, including 3 of 4 passing for 2-pointers. And the teams come upfield. The Comets have the lead 8-0 over Homer Center on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network on an Indiana Regional Medical Center high school sports night. With Ward Hilliard, our sideline reporter Nick Schmidt, Mark Burdick back with you from our S&T Bank broadcast booth. From the gridiron to the classroom, S&T Bank salutes all of our Heritage Conference athletes, and that was a good athletic play by Matt Smoji of Penns Manor on the 48-yard punt return to give the Comets an 8-0 lead.
Homer needs to look at rolling Ben Schmidt. They need to roll him out more.
Kick from Baird, taken by Doherty at the 23, up the center of the field to the 35, and up near the 40-yard line where he's tackled on the play by Jay Kerlinski, a 6-foot, 170-pound sophomore. So with 59 ticks on the first quarter clock, being brought to you by friends of Jim Struzzi, the Wildcats will start in a little better operating position this time, but they haven't had much going on, Ward Hilliard.
There's no consistency right now. They did try to run inside to kind of negate the attempt like Penns Manor, a successful attempt I might add, of cornering up or coming up on the corners and forcing Homer in. So they're trying to run inside the tackles. The next move, I think, is to roll out Ben Schmidt.
Offset eye, or no, straight eye, it looks like, behind Ben Schmidt, who's under his center. Done. Back to pass, throwing an out pattern. Doherty takes it, makes a move. Defender falls down. He's on his feet at the 50. Left sideline 40 to the 30. Penns Manor knocks him out of bounds at the 25, make it the 26-yard line. So that'll be a gain. 35 yards on the play.
That's a simple pattern. That's about a 7-yard out. Very easy for Doherty to run. He had 3 yards cushion there, and Ben put it right on the numbers. It's a good pass for Ben to throw. 3-step drop, turn, throw. And that slows the rush down. Now, good play by the Wildcats. 4-down territory, Mark.
35 yards, and Schmidt going to turn and hand to the big fullback Malacker, who plows ahead for 3 or 4 yards. Baird getting up a little bit slowly on his back. Also, Andrew Packer, the coach's son, Billy Packer. I got to clarify which Packer, right?
Yeah, there's
from
a number of Packers on
26 to the 22, so we'll call it a gain of 4. On that pass play, by the way, slipping down was the cornerback, Eric Keith, and that enabled Kobe to scoot down that left sideline. 18 seconds left in the quarter.
Nice plant by Kobe to make the turn, and that threw Keith off.
Split backs. And Ben's going to keep it this time. Comes near side Ryan, but Penns Manor strings it out, and the flag comes in late. This one might be on Homer Center. Thrown by the referee, Lou Idzotic, and that is the call, a hold on the Homer Center Wildcats. And Schmidt only got to the 20-yard line, as it was a gain a couple with 7 seconds left in the quarter.
Yeah, again, that was a short side run, so they either had to make or break on the initial fake, and the Comets did not bite entirely on it. So good job, but then the hold in behind, that always kills you.
Let's check in with our Nick Schmidt down on the Wildcat sideline, see if he detected anything on that play.
Well, what you just saw in the previous play was a great play by Kobe Doherty. He just caught a little out, made a move, and went down the sideline. And playing with him for a year, I know there's going to be a lot more of that as the year goes on.
That's how you did it, right, Nick?
Close to 16, 17.
All right. First quarter comes to a close. From Memorial Field in Homer City, from our S&T Bank broadcast booth, we say thank you to Friends of Jim Struzzi for sponsoring the first quarter. Comets owned it for the most part. It's Penn's Manor 8 and the Homer Center Wildcats nothing on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Ball at the 33-yard line as we get ready for the second quarter. Ben Schmidt, after the holding penalty, it's going to be second down and 17. Jacob Zeiler, receiver to the right boundary. Logan Williams in the backfield, but Schmidt fakes it to Williams. He's going to keep it. He scoots for some yardage, breaks a tackle at the 20. On his feet at the 15, and they knife him down inside the 10-yard line. That's going to be about 22 yards for Ben Schmidt. Mike Rizzo finally stopped him for the Penn's Manor Comets, the weak side defensive end, but Ben was scooting pretty good there, Ward.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Little fake that time. Got enough of a gap to get through that time, Mark, and that's what makes him so tough as a runner. By the way, the wife handed me a note, said hi to Dan Faker. I did say hi to Dan Faker in the player introductions. Maybe he wasn't listening at that time, so we'll say hi again to him.
At the 7-yard line of Penn's Manor, Schmidt with that run. First and goal Wildcats. They try to answer Penn's Manor's score, and they give it to Williams. It bottled it up. He knifes it outside. He makes something out of nothing because there wasn't a lot of running room there, but he gained a couple to the Penn's Manor 5-yard line. On the stop for the Penn's Manor Comets, Matt Smoji. Smoji defensively the free safety, and he came up and made that tackle. So second down and goal from the 5, 1 minute into this second quarter on an Indiana Regional Medical Center High School sports night.
Little fake to Logan and a little quick out. Good work here for a score. We'll see what they do.
Split backs. Actually, power eye formation. Toss right to Williams. Williams clogged up. He's going to reverse footing. He's got a lot of white jerseys to try to elude, and he can't do it. No running room. That worked last week against Purchase Line reversing, but not that time. Making a fine defensive play for the Penn's Manor Comets was the cornerback, Garrett Patterson, who stayed home. Logan improvised, but Penn's Manor, they were disciplined work.
That's one of the things we try to emphasize and how well they prepare. They don't chase. And, that would have worked against a lot of teams, but they did a nice job of staying home and just took away anything Logan had. That was poorly blocked. He got to have a little more room than that.
They lose 5 yards back to the 10-yard line, so it's third down and goal from the 10. Kobe Doherty, receiver up top on the Penn's Manor side, which is the short side. Wildcats operate toward the south end zone. Empty set, Twins to the right, and flags all over the joint. And let's see.
I'm going to guess that's a motion.
It looks like delay of game.
Oh, delay. Oh, my. That's on the sideline, I'm afraid to say.
So it'll be third and goal from the 15-yard line. Logan Williams and Zeiler receivers to the right. Empty backfield. Schmidt dumps it off. Incomplete. That could be grounding, and it is. So the Wildcats just shooting themselves in both feet, not just one foot. So that'll be fourth down after the mark-off.
Yeah, that's a loss of down and a penalty. That's just firehouse kind of rush. Everybody's coming. Ben doesn't have a chance to even pick a guy.
It's intentional grounding against the Wildcats.
So it'll be fourth down. So barring a bizarre turn of events here, it's at the 25-yard line. Or let's see, where are they going to put it down at?
It's 5 yards, I believe, isn't it? Yeah.
They back it up to the 29. Just moments ago, Homer Center had a second and goal from the 5. This is heave and hope time.
Well, you got the screen, but the Comets aren't going to be fooled by that, so it's going to be, heave and hope here, and I don't think he has time to heave, to tell you the truth.
And now a timeout called by Homer Center. Greg Page is not a happy camper right now. On an Indiana Regional Medical Center High School sports night, 8-0 Penn's Manor. They've owned the play in the first half, and you're listening to Homer Center Penn's Manor football on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Second quarter being brought to you by Diamond Medical Supply. 4th and goal from the 29, and Schmidt rolls to his left, throwing deep downfield, and it's intercepted and then jarred free by Kobe Doherty. And the interception was almost made by Eric Keith, which would have benefited Homer Center because it had been down at about the 1-yard line, and maybe in fairness to Keith, that's why it was jarred.
Yeah, he may have just decided, oh, I don't want to catch this, and dropped it. I don't know. He got popped pretty good by Kobe, but it has set them up in reasonably good field position after the Hummer's initial drive. Wildcats are just too inconsistent, Mark. They've got to find some kind of formation they're comfortable with offensively that they think they can get some positive yardage and stick with it.
From the 29-yard line, split backs behind Jimmy Leitner. And the give to the deep back. And with the football, Samoji, he's upended by Doherty, but not before he gets 5 yards up to the 34-yard line. 8-0 Penn's Manor here from Memorial Field on a beautiful night in early September.
I tell you, you got a young team. This kind of offense would give them fits because they're trying to follow the ball. They're trying to follow these runners. The gaps are there. Nice hole there opened up on that because you got to respect the wings.
Split backs with the wingman to the right. Leitner going under center, and he gives it to Samoji again. He stood up and pushed back. He'll get from one side of the 35 to the other for a couple. TJ Tagliati on the stop for the Homer Center Wildcats.
So Justin Walbeck sliding over there too, doing a little better off. He's going to settle into that position, start realizing what's going on. He's in the middle field. It seems like he's just like he's in an intersection.
And he was playing junior high football last year.
That's right. This is a learning as you go kind of experience for him.
3rd down and 3 for the Comets, a short 3. Split backs, wingman left. And Leitner going to boot to his left. Looks like he's going to keep it all the way, and he is. Trying to get to the corner, and he slipped down as a flag comes in, too. And from a Homer Center standpoint, you hope it wasn't a face mask, but I think it's holding on the Comets.
They had double block on Kobe there, and I think one of those guys just grabbed him. He was doing a great job that time of holding them up and forcing that play wide. That is what this defense needs to do. Interesting game, though, Mark. You could see both staffs adjusting to what the other is doing, and with success in some cases and not so much in others. But you can see there's a lot of adjustments going on here because these teams are playing each other pretty tough.
Homer Center takes the penalty ward. I think head coach Greg Page thinking on a 4th and a yard or two, maybe, though Comets are in their own territory, they may go for it. And the way the Wildcats have yielded rushing yardage, why wouldn't Penn's Manor, right?
That might be good thinking.
So they back them up. They take the penalty. It's to the 25-yard line. They need to get to the 39 for a first down. So my math says 3rd down and about 14 to go for a first down. Inside of 9 minutes left in this first half with Penn's Manor, thanks to the Samoji punt return, leading 8-0. Rolling to his right, Leitner. He wants to throw. He's being pressured, and they can't get him. He throws underneath, has the receiver short of the sticks. It is completed up over the 30-yard line to about the 32. Travis Mock over there for a Homer Center, but Penn's Manor will have to punt it away. They're going to be faced with 4th down and about 8 to go.
Tough play for Leitner. He's a converted lineman there. They'll roll out. Took a lot of time. Made a nice pass. I'll give him that. But it's difficult for him to get enough on a deep pass, and that's what you're really looking for there. And Wildcats, to their credit, had that pretty well covered.
So the holding penalty definitely hurts the Comets. They go 3 and out. Both teams have been hurt by penalties. Snap from center, good, and they're going to run it. And Penn's Manor breaks a tackle, but not enough for a first down. I'll tell you what, got by Tagliati and also Homer Center's Owen Cochran, but who made that tackle, Dennis Mester? Because if not for the 3rd guy, it is a first down, but the gamble backfires on Penn's Manor. Alex Pribish made a first down saving tackle.
You know, I watched some of I was just going to say it, I didn't want to step on you there, that they were, they're ripe for a fake because the Homer's defense was kind of walking up the line. They were expecting punt, and good thing Pribish had enough smarts to hang around and make that play. So the Wildcats take advantage here. Let's see if they can score.
From the Penns Manor 36. Snap from center, quick handoff to Williams. Williams through an opening to the 25, to the 20. He's going to take it right to Mrs. Renoski's house for a touchdown. The Logan Williams Express is back 36 yards for a touchdown. As they blow the horn here at Memorial Field, it's 8-6 Penns Manor. Williams, 5th of the season.
I see our buddy Jimmy Sutter sitting down there. He likes that Williams Express term, doesn't he? And that's exactly it. They got him a gap. Did you see the difference? He got clear of the first line and was gone. You're not going to catch him if he gets open like that. Billy knows that. That was just a breakdown on their part.
Wildcats will,
for 2, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to go for 2. Receiver to the left, Kobe Doherty. Twins to the right in Jake Ciani, who caught a 2-point conversion pass last week. Logan Williams, sidecar to the left of Ben Schmidt. Back to pass. Ben's going to keep it. Ben has an easy trip to the end zone for the 2-point conversion around the left end. He stepped up. He saw nothing but green grass. And we are tied at 8 apiece. Logan Williams, that was fast. One play, 36 yards, 8-8 on an Indiana Regional Medical Center High School sports night with 8:24 to play in the first quarter. And you're listening to it right here on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Ben Schmidt, line drive kick taken by Dimitri Lieb around the right end, and he fumbles the football. It might go out of bounds on the far side of the field. Let's see. I think it did at about the 35-yard line as somebody popped them. And for the Homer Center Wildcats, that somebody was Owen Cochran. Let's get on to the sideline to our Nick Schmidt. Let's see what Nick has cooked up for us. With the Wildcats answering Penns Manor. Nick, risky fake punt didn't work for Penns Manor.
Well, with Logan Williams' speed, you want to try to get that speed to the outside, but Penns Manor did a good job stopping that. So what their response is going to be, give it up the middle, and that worked out perfectly for them as he got a touchdown. Because on film, they're studying, they're just thinking stop the outside run. And so the inside run was there that time, and I think they're going to stick with that.
Thanks, Nick. Jimmy Leitner under center, split backs behind him. And Leitner going to give to Dimitri Lieb, and Homer Center defends it nicely. TJ Tagliati, Travis Mock one more time, Alex Pribish. Billy Packer, before we started the interview, had so much praise for TJ Tagliati, the lineman of the year last year, and Alex Pribish. He said, I am so impressed with those two watching the film. I bet when he watches that play, he'll be even more impressed as they hold him to no gain.
Yeah, you know, the 2 big plays that Nick Schmidt ran were left, and that's the side Tagliati's on. I just told Denny, I said, they've got something over there because they blew holes in that side both times.
Tight end to the left for Penns Manor's Baird. Lieb, they're going to give on an inside handoff, and with the football, Tommy Hamilton tackled maybe for a 1-yard loss, as busting that up was Trevor Malacker of the Homer Center Wildcats. And Trevor has that push, Ward. I like the move defensively, really, to move him to a D end.
He's a load, isn't he? There's a lot to push out of there, and you know, that's his job. You stick a foot in the ground there, nobody gets by me. And if they're going to go around me, they got to go way around. So that's the thinking. But I see the Homer D a little more aggressive now. It's a little more penetration rather than sitting back, and they're having some success as a result.
8-8 our score. Penns Manor 3rd down and 10, we'll call it, from their own 34-yard line. Motion man Lieb, they hand it to Lieb. Lieb comes near sideline. Kobe Doherty fights off a block and makes a textbook tackle at the 39-yard line. He does get 5. I'll tell you what, Kobe made that look easy, and it was far from easy.
And I'm not sure what the adjustment was. It may have been just an adjustment for the coaching staff saying get rid of some people. You know, that they're taking on blocks and riding them instead of shedding them. This time, Homer had penetration each time. They were getting rid of their blocks.
Tommy Hamilton, the long snapper. Dimitri Lieb, the sophomore punter, stands at his own 27-yard line. And the snap from center is true. He gets the kick away. It's high and very, very short. Deshaun Robinson calls for a fair catch at the 40-yard line. So a punt of 21 yards.
Boy, that's smart football. We got to get a media here. Yeah, Deshaun Robinson, he gets a star in my book for fair catching. End of the discussion here. I want to get us time to get out of the way.
No immediate timeout yet because we're not under 6 minutes.
Oh, I see.
If you go by the letter of the law. So Homer Center going to take over at their own 40. Blairsville leading Salzburg 22-6 with 4:01 left in the second quarter. Burkhart, the quarterback, a 4-yard run.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise there.
Split backs, and Ben Schmidt back to pass. Out pattern has Kobe Doherty at 47. Makes a quick move. Penns Manor territory at the 45 to the 40-yard line where he's tackled from behind. On the tackle, Brandon Beard, the big defensive end at 6'5", 205. But boy, Kobe more moves than Ward Hilliard on Main Street at 2 in the morning. And it is first and goal, Homer Center.
I'm not sure what that means, but I'll say one thing. He got a lot of cushion. He went down about 7, turned, bam, ball was right there, and then he made a move. The D-back still hadn't come up on him. That's the old button hook kind of pass there. Nice job by Nick, right on the money.
20-yard gain to Kobe. And Schmidt toss left to Williams. Outside bounces it, and out of bounds he goes. After a 3-yard gain, he took what was there and picks up 3 with 5:27. Clock stopped here in the first half. Tied at 8. We expected a good one. We're getting a good one.
They called Ben Nick again. That's going to happen a lot more.
Gain of 2. They were going to say he stepped out of bounds on the Penns Manor bench at the 38-yard line. Ben Schmidt getting the play call from head coach Greg Page on this beautiful night, alumni night. Easy for me to say at Memorial Field.
I saw a lot of band members down there that showed up, and it's great. Great tradition here.
Power I formation, Justin Walbeck in the backfield, and they're going to give to Williams. Clogged up the middle, and Logan fights for a yard maybe to the 37-yard line, but the Wildcats are going to be faced with 3rd down and 7. They send in some new troops, Travis Mock and Jacob Zeiler in, and Trevor Malacker and Justin Walbeck come out.
That was the power I counter, one of their favorite plays last year. They just do not have the size in that backfield they had last year to kind of blow those holes open. And Combs did a nice job of stuffing it. Thought a screen pass on that down might have worked. Penns Manor's been coming pretty hard. Might have got out of position.
Mock and Ciani split to the wide side toward the Homer Center bench. And Ben Schmidt back to pass, pump fake. Now where's he at? Rolls to his left, throws downfield, has a receiver, Doherty at the 20, and makes a quick move on his feet at the 15. He's going to take it to the house down the left sideline. 38 yards from Schmidt to Doherty. His second touchdown reception in as many weeks. And the Wildcats, as they blow the horn again, have the lead 14-8 with 4:33 remaining in the first half. Well done.
I didn't know how Ben got free over there. Looked like they had him hemmed in. I didn't know where he was at. As you commented, Mark, when we saw him all of a sudden. Kobe, to his credit, I would be critical about this. Scramble drills, you got to find a gap. Find somewhere for your quarterback to throw it, and he did that time.
Wildcats going to kick out of placement here. And the long snapper, Tyler Sprankle, at practice Monday, attended on Labor Day, and Coach Page said to Sprankle, we need those snaps back there quicker. I want you working on it all week. Doherty, the holder, let's see how he does. Snap is back there quickly, put down by Kobe, and Ben Schmidt has the extra point. Schmidt, this season, 6 of 7, now make it 7 of 8. Speaking of 8, the Comets are stuck on 8. The Wildcats have answered with 15 straight. On an Indiana Regional Medical Center high school sports night, it's now Homer Center 15 and the Penns Manor Comets 8 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Well, Ben Schmidt, who had a big part of that touchdown drive, has it teed up, and it's a line drive. Squibb takes a big hop and another big hop, and it goes through Hamilton's legs at the 20. Pick up that loose pill. He fumbles it, picks it up again, and the Wildcats swarm him back near the 10-yard line. That was one crazy football. Check the inflation on that thing.
Ever play croquet?
Did that come out of Boston?
That's the way that baby went. It went through, under, around, and everybody, and then through the last guy's legs, and Hamilton lost control of it because he couldn't see it clearly.
It's so frustrating. It had all kinds of English and crazy hops. Nick Schmidt had a good view of it. Nick, you hated when those kind of kicks came back to you, didn't you? You hated it, right?
Yeah, those were a pain in the rear to handle, and it was a very hard ball to handle.
All right, sideline report from former Wildcat Nick Schmidt. Penns Manor at their own 10-yard line. Leitner takes the direct snap. Or it's Hamilton from the Wildcat, and he spins over the 15 to the 16-yard line and punches them out of a hole a little bit. So we've seen that a couple of times tonight as Hamilton takes the direct snap. Tackled on the play by Kobe Doherty, who's doing it on both sides of the ball.
They made an adjustment there, and I'm kind of surprised they did. They were having success on those jet sweeps, and they kind of dropped out of that. Hamilton running those plays well, too, but he is a threat any time back there, and that's probably one of their reasons for trying to make the adjustment.
Second down and about 5 to go, a short 5. Receiver to the right for Penns Manor is Zach O'Neill, but they're coming left, and upended is Dimitri Lieb, the sophomore, but he has a first down over the 20, up near the 23-yard line. Defensively for Homer Center, Kobe Doherty making that tackle. 3.5 minutes left in this first half. Homer Center has responded with 15 straight, and they lead Penns Manor 15-8. On the road next week, we'll be on the hill at Marion Center.
The Heidi Bowl. You see Heidi up there every time we go.
O'Neill and Galantine, receivers to the right. Look like early motion or movement, but nothing called, and the quarterback is wishing he didn't have the ball. And let's see if that's Jimmy Leitner. But no, it was Hamilton again with that football. And defensively, TJ Tagliotti making that tackle. No gain on the play, so it'll be second down and 10 to go from the 23-yard line.
Looked like they were trying to run a cross block and a trap out of it, and it just seemed like all the assignments were blown. Hamilton had nowhere to go.
Homer Center with 1 timeout remaining. Penns Manor, I think, with 2. Wings both ways, and Leitner back in there at quarterback, and he gives to Lieb as they bring him from the right end to the left end. He turns the corner, gets over the 25, up to about the 27-yard line. On the stop for the Homer Center Wildcats one more time, Kobe Doherty. They put it down at the 27. They need the 33 for a first down. So it'll be third down and about 7 to go.
Cats want to continue to force these third and longs. Comet's passing game, I don't think, is real strong, and they haven't shown that. So they could come after them pretty hard here. If it's a running play, bottle them up, force them to start using that passing
Only
game.
threw 9 times in the first 2 weeks. Leitner was 6 of 9. Motion man Hamilton. They're going to give to Samoji up the gut. The Wildcats stop them shy of that lead stick, I do believe, by about a yard. They needed the 33. They're going to put them down at the 32, and with 1:40 remaining in this first half, it's decision time for Coach Packer. No measurement, I don't believe. Nope. And it looks like Penns Manor's going to go for it.
I think he's going to go. He's a riverboat gambler.
And they break huddle, and out over the football's Austin Yeager. Leitner under Yeager. Motion man, and they're going to give up the middle, and fumbling the football, and I think the Wildcats have it. Samoji coughed it up. I don't think he got the first down, even if he didn't recover it. They unpile, and let's see what the officials say. And they say Homer Center football. Second turnover on Penns Manor. Alex Pribish came up with it.
Early, if you heard the keys to the game, one of the things was that Penns Manor needed to do just that, force turnovers. And Homer's already had at least 2 that I can recall, with that one included. Hey, let's go to the old Jerry Page playbook here. This is generally a play fake and send the tight end deep. See if they can score right off the bat. This is one of the favorite plays the old Laurel Valley Rams used to use. Let's see if they do that. Jake Ciani in the ball game is on the left side tight.
From the 32 of Penns Manor, offset I behind Ben Schmidt under center. Fakes to Williams, and he's in trouble as they pressure. Now he's going to throw sideline out, caught by Doherty, and there's a flag coming in. And Greg Page is furious, and I think it might be a late hit on Penns Manor against Schmidt. And Brandon Baird puts his arms up.
That's what it was. Good call, Mark. Yeah, he got him out of the sidelines, just kind of railed him out.
And the pass was complete. I think Kobe kept his feet in bounds near side.
He did a nice job of holding his feet in bounds. Did have Ciani deep, but there was no chance for Ben to throw that down there. He had scrambled for his life there.
Completed pass for 7 yards.
7 yards was the completion.
To the 25, and then they'll go half the distance, right?
What a swing here, huh? You know, you second guess, and I'm sure Billy's going to have people second guessing the whole time. And what if he didn't go? But right now they've put Homer in excellent scoring position, and they still got a minute.
Wildcats are in the Alexander Strength Development red zone at the 13-yard line of the Comets. Twins to the right, Ciani and Travis Mock. Twins to the left, wide splits here as they try to spread out Penns Manor. Schmidt from the gun, going to hand it off to Williams. Breaks through and fights for yardage down near the 10. Almost got by that final defender. And if he does, it's probably 6 points. Hey, when Steeler kicker Chris Boswell and former IUP basketball standouts like Megan Smith and Blake Danielak can train at Alexander, why not you? Second and goal. Schmidt rolls to his left. Pressure coming from Hamilton. He has him, and he loses the ball, and it's picked up on a hop by Penns Manor. And running down the right sideline to the 50-yard line, Logan Williams gets by Williams. He's on his feet at the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Goes Brandon Baird into the end zone as he picked up that fumble in front of the Comets bench. And he races 73 yards with 23 seconds on the clock, and what a turnaround in this football game. And it is now Homer Center 15 and the Penns Manor Comets 14. Wow, what a play by Brandon Baird.
Well, the problem, Ben was trying to make a play. He had no play. He was rolling left. There's, again, one of my pet peeves of doing that. He tried to look to throw the ball. It looked like he was trying to throw it, Mark. But Baird was able to knock it away from him before he could get an arm motion, apparently, because there's no flags there. So, obviously, great play by Baird. And, again, the pressure of the Comets has just given Ben fits. They got to start rolling to the right. Timeout, Penns Manor here.
From our S&T Bank broadcast booth, relationship banking, one customer at a time. Wow, Brandon Baird, 73 yards on the return. Hey, let's keep everybody safe tonight, but when injuries occur on a Friday night, Indiana Regional Medical Center standing by, ready to help with their Saturday morning walk-in injury clinic. For the competitive student athlete, the weekend warrior, and everyone in between, sprains, strains, fractures, sports injuries, concussions, get fast and accurate diagnosis every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. X-ray and physical therapy on site. Saturday morning injury clinic is open 8 a.m. to noon at the Human Motion Institute building on the campus of Indiana Regional Medical Center, presented by the Indiana Regional Medical Center Physician Group, the community's choice.
What a turnaround, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Amazing.
So Penns Manor going to go for two, try to take the lead into the locker room at halftime. Homer Center will get the ball to start the second half. Leitner under center. The influence to the right, and they hand it to Hamilton. Cuts it up, and he's met, and flag comes in behind the play. Didn't get in, and I think the penalty's on Penns Manor. It is, so it'll be declined, and the Wildcats will hold on to a 1-point lead. We're going to break. Come back with the Penns Manor kickoff on an IRMC High School Sports Night. Penns Manor trailing Homer Center 15-14 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. By Brandon Baird, and 2-point conversion fails, and we have a 1-point Homer Center lead at the half. Not quite the half. We're going to have a kickoff.
Quite the understatement. Turn of events. Yeah, Homer's going down potentially to take a 2-score lead into the locker room, and suddenly Comets have got within a point of them, all on one play. And, I'm sure Billy Packer is quite relieved because they lost the ball going for the first down. So it's been a kind of a bizarre half. And we said these teams are two evenly matched teams, and they're making enough evenly matched mistakes here that are keeping this game quite interesting. That halftime talk ought to be inspiring, don't you think?
Well, we'll have a comment from Nick Schmidt with head coach Greg Page coming up here in a couple of minutes.
Good luck with that.
See what Coach Page says to Nick. And Baird's kick, high and short. Deshaun Robinson fumbles it, picks it up on a hop at the 23, and fights for yardage over the 30 to the 31 for Penns Manor with 17 seconds on the scoreboard clock. On the kick coverage team, Mike Rizzo making the tackle, and they put it down at the 32, so that's where Homer Center might be seeing them take a knee here.
I would suggest that. Get off, regroup. Homer will get the ball to start the second half, so they just need to shake the cobwebs out of their heads here, because I'm sure they're all stunned over that turn, as you called it, and they need to get in the locker room and talk about it.
Wildcats, Schmidt going to go under his center, Tyler Dunn. And let's see if he just takes a knee. And that's what he'll do, and that's going to wrap up this first half with final 12 seconds ticking down. Nick Schmidt going to catch up with Homer Center head coach Ben Schmidt as the Homer Center head coach Greg Page. Ben's his younger brother. And we'll see what Coach Page has to say. I'm sure he's pretty disgusted with that turn of event there at the end of the first half. Nick, we'll send it down to you. Williams to the 40, to the 45, to the 50. In the loose down the left sideline at the 40, to the 30, and he tiptoes out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. And the Wildcats come out with a little bit of a wrinkle. Actually, they're going to say he stepped out back at the 30. So a gain of 33 yards for Logan Williams. What about that wrinkle, Mr. Hilliard?
Well, just a little inside fake to Trevor Malacker and then handing to Logan on the counter the other way, and a nice job. Again, as I said, when he gets to the edge and he turns up, nobody's going to catch him. They didn't catch him. He just kind of ran out of real estate. They had a little bit of an angle, but great run. That's the way to start it. See if they can cap it now.
Travis Mock, receiver to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Homer Center operating toward the end zone, south end zone. They give to Malacker. They faked the pitch to Williams. Penns Manor stayed home and didn't bite, although they ran in to a bulldozer in a construction yard in Trevor Malacker, who got a yard, maybe. Let's see where they put it down.
You would like to see him get into that second level defense just to see what it would be like.
Hey, I remember easy now. I remember that interception return at Blairsville last week where he was like lightning and took it to the house.
Well, it was at
least
a brand of lightning.
Heat lightning, at least.
Of which I'm not familiar, to be honest. Yeah, they're trying to run him on a little slant into the line, and then he'd come off of that with a pitch. That time they tried to cross the requirements up, no dice.
Twins to the right. They give to Williams up the middle, and Penns Manor knifes across and makes the play. Let's see who made that tackle for Penns Manor. It might have been Matt Samoji for the Penns Manor Comets. It was Samoji. Boy, he's the free safety, Ward, and he cheats up and makes a lot of plays right in the trenches.
He knows he can read, and he's an experienced player and a tough player and a good tackler, and that's what's so valuable back there. He reads what's going on. We got to get a little more push out of Trevor there. He's got to be able to blow up a hole here for Logan to cut through. It hasn't happened yet.
Kobe Doherty to the wide side of the field in front of the Wildcat bench. Ball on the left hash. Lone setback, the protector right for now is Williams. Throwing deflected away. I think Tommy Hamilton deflected that pass.
Baird.
Or was it Baird?
Yeah, big 88 over there.
Yeah, you're right.
6'5" is tough to get around. We got to figure out where he's at and throw the other way.
Northern Cambria has scored 14 unanswered. Ben Vazel with a 52-yard touchdown run, so it's Northern Cambria 14-8. Over West Shamokin, thanks to Mark Hilliard calling that game, keeping us updated.
They're tough.
Fourth down here for Homer Center and 8 to go. Started out promising, but they'll need a big play on fourth down here. Sidecar right of Schmidt from the shotgun is Williams. Low snap, but he takes it, throws out in the flat to Williams. Williams makes a quick cut, and he's spun down at the 26-yard line. Good tackle out here by Penns Manor. Making that tackle for the Comets was Jay Karlinski, and the Wildcats will turn it over on down.
That play really died at the beginning. It was a low snap, so Ben didn't have much time to even look away. There was just a little swing pass to try to get Logan in the open field. But the defense had already saw the ball almost hitting the ground, so they just came in hard, broke it up. There was nowhere for Logan to go.
So Penns Manor will start at their own 28-yard line, trailing 15-14, and they come out with Tommy Hamilton at the quarterback and the Wildcat with an empty set, twins up top, wing both ways, and Hamilton going to hand it off. And I think it's Samoji with the football. Let's see. It is Matt Samoji on the tackle. It was Homer Center. Trevor Malacker making that stop.
They're doing a better job of gap control there, not getting burned on those inside runs, and it's critical that they do that. The ends also, they have got to come up huge here. There's the two strengths of the Comets, and if you can take those away, you force them to throw a little more.
Gain of about 3, ball just over the paint on the 30-yard line. Brandon Galantine, a receiver up top, and they're going to hand it off and running room up the middle and just tripping them up where it's going to be more yardage is Dimitri Lieb, and making a big saving tackle for bigger yardage was Deshaun Robinson, but they do move the chains up to the 38-yard line.
A little inside, whatever you want to call that. It's a reverse inside, reverse
they
inside
call that
counter.
A buck sweep.
But there's a fake the other way, and then the handoff coming back toward us that time, and just a big hole. And that's where the gap's got to be controlled.
Hamilton, again, running the offense right now, and Hamilton going to keep it. He faked the handoff to Lieb, and then he's knocked over big time by Alex Pribish, who delivered a big blow, limits him to a 1-yard gain up to the 39-yard line. We're inside of 9 minutes here in the third quarter with Homer Center leading 15-14.
His defensive goal is to get Penns Manor in third and long situations where they have to get out of just purely running the ball. As long as they're getting 4 or 5 yards, they're going to be able to do that.
Jimmy Leitner back in offensively, so we assume he'll run the show here at quarterback. By the way, there was a procedure penalty on Penns Manor. I didn't even spot it until right now. Lou Idzotic motioned it, but it was declined by Homer Center. They'll take 2nd and 9 over 1st and 15.
I didn't see it myself there, Mark.
Usually you are
first one of the year.
Eagle eyes. Yeah. Well, you're looking through the glass and a little bit of a reflection. And
the glare.
You could shut that light off, Ward. Yeah. That little light might be bothering you a little bit. 2nd down and 9 up to the 39-yard line. Scoreboard says 43, but it is the 39. Split backs, or actually it's going to be, Leitner under center. Yep, split backs behind him. Smoji, the fullback. Dimitri Lieb, the sophomore tailback. Wingman motioning behind is Hamilton, and they pitch it to Hamilton. And Hamilton has running room inside Wildcat territory, breaks a tackle on his feet at the 40. He's going to take it the distance, 62 yards as he broke a couple of tackles, and the Penns Manor Comets have the lead on the 62-yard run by Tommy Hamilton with 8:14 left in the third quarter. It's now Penns Manor back up on top 20-15.
You heard Coach Page going off the field at halftime, not happy with the way they were tackling. There's a good example right there. A couple guys had clean shots at Hamilton to just wrap him up, or if nothing else, hang on to him until the support came. They did not, and off to the races he goes. So credit to him. Big run, big score, Comets ahead.
8:14 mark of this third quarter. Comets do not kick, so they will go for 2. Would give them a 7-point advantage. Leitner under center with split backs behind him. And motion again behind, and they're going to flip to the motion man, and busting that play up in a big way was Kobe Doherty. And Dimitri Lieb didn't have a chance, lost about 4 yards on that play. But 4 plays, 73 yards, took $151. Teams come back upfield on an Indiana Regional Medical Center High School sports night. Back up on top go the Comets. It's Penns Manor 20, Homer Center 15 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. 4 plays, 73 yards, as I mentioned, going to break. Took a minute 51, but The heavy lifting done by Tommy Hamilton on a 62-yard touchdown run. Brandon Baird has it teed up. It's a line drive squibber, and good hands by Logan Williams at the 23 to the 30 to the 35 to the 40. Comes near side to the 45, and down he goes, and the Wildcats will be in good operating position. Jimmy Leitner on the tackle, and Jay Karlinski for the Penns Manor Comets.
Once again, back to the drawing board. Homer's got to find some type of formation they can get comfortable with and can start piling up yardage. They have not established any kind of a running game. A couple of big plays by Logan Williams and maybe one by Nick Schmidt or Ben Schmidt. And beyond that, they've done nothing, Mark, and that's disappointing. Tackling, whoa, that's a work in progress.
You know, we were so busy on our halftime report, Nick probably had Billy Packer, and we forgot about him. That's on us, Nick.
Yeah, that was on us.
Ben Schmidt under center. We'll get down to Nick in a minute. Toss left to Williams, trying to get to the corner. Gets by one man to the 45 and runs into the Penns Manor bench. Just about a 2-yard gain. There just hasn't been a lot there. Credit Penns Manor. Right, Nick Schmidt. Good defense down there.
Yeah, it was good defense, and they've been playing good defense all night, really. But back to Logan Williams' kick return. That ball, the way that skipped off, that's probably one of the hardest balls you can field. And so credit to him for handling that on the first hop. Yeah,
we saw that the other way. Good call on that, Nick, where Penns Manor was not as fortunate on a couple of crazy bounces. 2nd down and 8. Kobe Doherty comes near side. Ball at the Wildcat 47. Wingman to the left. That's Malacker, more like an H-back, and Schmidt's going to keep it to midfield to the 45 to the 40. Ben in the loose at the 30. Heads far sideline to the 20. Trying to get the angle on him. He dives into the end zone. He doesn't even dive. He races inside that orange pylon, and he takes it 53 yards for a touchdown. And back comes Homer Center. They now lead the Penns Manor Comets 21-20. Ben Schmidt with those great wheels.
Something on the left side. Again, I think Ben saw that opening there. Tagliati's over there, Prubich over there, some good blocking. And he read a hole and cut through it. And you can see he's a great open field runner. Just doesn't get the credit because you got a Logan Williams back here. Huge play. Great response by the Wildcats.
Ben Schmidt, 53 yards. Kobe Doherty, the holder, out of the snap of Tyler Sprankle. And it's put down, and the kick is blocked. Busting through there was Brandon Baird. He's doing it all over the field, isn't he, for the Penns Manor Comets. And the score holds 1-point lead, which is where we were at the half. There is a penalty, however, on the play, so hold the phone.
He may have been offside. He got in there awful fast, even for 6'5". Let's see. Was it? Ooh, now the coaches have a decision to make. They're going to go for 2 here now, Mark.
Yep, they will.
Yeah, I thought that snap and hold was pretty efficient there. I can't believe Baird could get in and block that quickly.
2 plays, 55 yards, by the way. Took just 16 seconds.
We should comment, too, that did sprinkle a little bit at halftime. So
yeah, I did say that.
Yep. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I didn't catch that.
Twins to the right, twins to the left. Wide splits for Homer Center as they try to spread the Comets out. Logan Williams, the setback. Schmidt from the shotgun with the sidecar right, Logan Williams. No tight end. And let's see what they do here. Williams Schmidt on a similar situation ran for 2 earlier in the game. And he takes the snap, hands it off to Williams, cuts it back, zigs and zags, leans for the goal line, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. And it's 23-20 with 7:51 to play in the 3rd quarter. Back and forth we go in the 61st all-time meeting between the Comets and the Wildcats from the S&T Bank broadcast booth. S&T Bank salutes our student-athletes from the classroom to the gridiron. And we are at the gridiron since 1945 at the corner of Lincoln and Harrison. Squib kicked by Schmidt, taken by Tommy Hamilton. Hamilton down at about the 35, maybe the 36-yard line, right down below us. On the kick coverage team for the Homer Center Wildcats, it was Cole Cunningham, or I'm sorry, not Cole Cunningham, it was Travis Mock. There's no 51 there. I thought I saw 30 on that tackle. Our spotter, Denny Mester, does a good job cleaning the windows here, but we're going to have to clean his glasses on that one.
30 is Travis Mock.
They put it down at the 37-yard line.
We can't find that number 51.
And he is on the sideline. Right?
Area 51. Maybe that's the same thing, huh?
Well, they give up the middle, and with the football, Samoji, and I'll tell you what, he did a good job of powering his way for some yardage. Wildcats say they have the football, and Jake Cyani does have it, but they're going to say that he was down, and Samoji showed me something there, Ward. Kind of spun and backed his way with strong legs for 5 yards on first down up to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, the way Cats are tackling, that's going to merit him extra yardage. They've got to tighten that up.
I'm going to say 6 yards.
I don't think tonight they're going to be able to. They're just going to have to play it out and hope they can survive it and then work on it during the week.
Hamilton, wingman to the left, Dimitri Lieb to the right. And Leitner going to give to Hamilton, trying to turn the corner around the right side, and he does have first down yardage. He gets to midfield, nudges his way into Homer Center territory on that far sideline in front of the Comets bench, and he gets about 8 or 9 more. Tackle made by the freshman Justin Walbeck. They put the football down at the Wildcat 49-yard line.
Smogy did a nice job of blocking on Logan Williams. Wildcat did too nice a job. From what I can see, it looked like there were some jerseys being grabbed. Maybe both ways there.
No, they downgraded.
Come on.
10 carries, 100 yards for Hamilton.
Continues to be a thorn.
9 yards there. Motion man is Lieb, but they give up the middle to Samoji, who powers his way, lowering the shoulder to the 45. TJ Tagliotti on the stop for the Homer Center Wildcats.
Yeah, the backers have got to step in that and stop that gap. Samoji is always going between center and the guard, and they need to stuff that gap. They're inside backers.
Second down and about 6 to go as the coaches pound up above us. I think that was Penn Manor pounding. Trying to figure out which door that was coming from.
This is that kind of a game. It's back and forth, and every play you're holding your breath because it could go.
And now a whistle and a timeout called by Penn's Manor. 5:44 remaining in the third quarter. Back and forth we've gone in this football game. The teams have exchanged touchdowns here in the third quarter. It says Homer Center 23, Penn's Manor 20 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. As we come back, the give to Samoji, and Samoji cuts it up inside the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. They're going to move the sticks again on the tackle, TJ Tagliotti, but Penn's Manor, this drive that started at their own 37-yard line, very systematically moving it right down the field, taking it to Homer Center's defense, which has allowed over 200 yards rushing a game, and they're over that, I think, tonight.
A lot of misdirection, a lot of stuff going on that way, and it seems like the defense just cannot figure it out.
This time, let's see, I think that's Hamilton at the quarterback. It is, and he's going to keep it short side of the field, through an opening, just picking his way, finding some gaps, and run out of bounds on the far side by Justin Walbeck, but not before he runs for about 8 or 9 more down in front of that Comets bench. They put it down at the 31-yard line. He gains 7. The Wildcats just have no answer.
No, we've seen these games before, have we not? Whoever has the ball last probably going to win because neither team's able to stop the other. But the Comets have had the better of it, I think, Mark. They're gaining consistent yardage. Homer's been big plays.
Galantine and O'Neill, receivers to the left, and they give it on that buck sweep again, and with the football, driving for a first down, the Comets' Dimitri Lieb, a 6-foot, 162-pound sophomore who had 3 touchdowns in the opening week against Blairsville. They put it down at the 26, and a new set of downs for the Comets.
Yeah, folks are maybe wondering
on the tackle,
what's going on with this, but you got a flanker on each side of the end, and then you have a fullback. So there's a motion, man in motion. They sometimes fake to him. They come back to the fullback. They fake to the fullback, come back and hand it to the man in motion. There's so many options, and defenses have got to be disciplined.
Smoji, they fake it to him. Hamilton going to keep it, and Hamilton dragged down from behind, close to a horse collar there from my vantage point. Maybe not. It was across the way, but he gains about 5 yards to the 21-yard line of the Wildcats. The Wildcats just can't win first down at all as we approach the 4-minute mark in this third quarter with Homer Center leading 23-20.
There's generally 2, maybe 3 blockers hitting that end, and it just wipes him out and allows Hamilton to turn the corner. And every time he can turn upfield, that's 5 yards or more.
2nd down and 5 from the Wildcat 21 as the Comets get close to entering the Alexander Strength Development red zone. And they fake it to Lieb. Here comes Hamilton near side. This time the Wildcats stop him. I think he'll even lose a yard. Kobe Doherty busted through. Kobe's had a good game defensively. They're going to put it down outside the 21, back near the 22, so he does indeed lose a yard.
He came from the weak side, the side away from where this run was going, and came in back and got some penetration and ran him down.
Out-of-town scoreboard, end of 3, Blairsville 30, Salzburg 20. 22-8 Northern Cambria now over West Shamokin after West Shamokin had taken an 8-0 lead early.
I think the mismatch there is more offense on the Cambria side.
3rd down and about 7, and Leitner back to pass. Rolling, throwing deep downfield, and it's intercepted by Travis Mock at the 6 or 7 yard line. Mock, the 3rd turnover on the Penns Manor Comets.
Boy, they're not giving.
Are they saying incomplete? The Wildcats can't believe it. Well, hey, it's a long way from us, so what do we know?
We can't. Looked like he came down pretty clean with it myself. But you are right. It's probably as far away from where we're at as it can get. Boy, that would have been a big play. Homer needed that kind of a stop. 4th down now.
Let's see if it matters here. Penns Manor, see if they can take advantage on 4th and 7. And Leitner this time going to boot to his left. Pressure coming from Pribish, throwing deep downfield, out of bounds, incomplete, and there's a flag. They're going to say Homer Center pushed Penns Manor.
No, I think it's just the opposite. I saw clearly Baird push the Homer defensive back. I saw that clearly. If they don't call that, that is a total blown call.
Kobe Doherty acting like you're right, Ward Hilliard.
His arms both went out, and he pushed off to get the chance to catch that.
Pass interference on Penns Manor. Good call, Ward Hilliard. Bad call, Mark Burdick.
You never make a bad call. You just mistake it once in a while. And once in a while, I stumble on an acorn. Anyway, Homer holds, and you can. We're going to look for a media timeout. Yeah.
3:01 remaining in the third quarter. Scoreboard says as Homer Center dodges a bullet. Homer Center 23. And the Penns Manor Comets 20. And you're listening to Heritage Conference Football on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Wildcats dodge a bullet there. And they have the ball back at their own 22. And they do not give it to Williams. It's Ben Schmidt. And Schmidt, pretty good running room on 1st down, out over the 25, up near the 29-yard line for about 7 yards.
It's Seth Purbich and Taglietti over there, and he's been favoring that side, and he's been getting yardage on it. Don't understand, Mark. Penns Manor moving the ball on the ground, and then they try to throw, which is not a strength. And you saw all those passes are just kind of fluttering out there. There's nothing sharp.
Garrett Patterson, by the way, on that tackle for the Penns Manor Comets, cornerback. 2nd down and 3 for Homer Center after the Schmidt run. Twin receivers near side. Schmidt from the shotgun with a sidecar to the left. That is Williams, and they hand it to Logan. Logan plows for a 1st down. Right up the middle between guard Tyler Dunn, or center Tyler Dunn, guard TJ Tagliotti, and Seth Pribish on that left side. Andrew Packer, Coach Bill Packer's son, the right defensive tackle, made that stop. But 1st down, Homer Center at the 33.
This is the type of the time of the game when you'd like to see one of those patented Homer Center drives, the length of the field on the ground, using up the clock. The score here puts them up 2 scores. They'll be up 9 points, so they'd have a 2-score lead there, and that's significant.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter, 23-20 Homer Center. Williams to the right of Schmidt this time, and a bad snap, and he picks it up and he throws it out in the flat, incomplete. It was a forward pass, not a lateral. So that play was ugly from the beginning, and it's a good thing Schmidt was able to pick it up.
That play was set up. They actually had a little room that time for Logan, and that's all he needed. But unfortunately, that's the second time they've tried that play. The second time the snap has come back low, and it just blew the whole play up. So,
you know, Tyler Dunn, too, last year was pretty flawless in that department. But there's been a few bad exchanges, and a lot of that, I think, just you don't have that same continuity on the offensive line, and Tyler makes all the calls, too, so there's a lot of pressure on him with this inexperienced O-line, and now we have a timeout called by Homer Center.
Couldn't get a guy off the field, and Coach Page didn't want a mistake here.
98 seconds left in the third quarter on an Indiana Regional Medical Center High School Sports Night from our S&T Bank broadcast booth. From the gridiron to the classroom, S&T Bank salutes all of our athletes throughout the Heritage Conference. It's Homer Center 23, Penns Manor 20 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. Back at you at Memorial Field. What was that, Ward?
I was going to say Nick's perspective on that interception, if he saw it better than we did, if there was one or
we'll
not.
go down to him after this play. Let's do that. Second down and 10 for Homer Center. Schmidt takes the direct snap, going to keep it, comes near sideline, trying to get a block, but Travis Mock couldn't defend well, and it's intercepted. And down the left sideline, it is O'Neal running for a touchdown on the interception return, 37 yards. And the Wildcats give up another big play, and Penns Manor goes back up on top. Schmidt was pressured, made a bad throw, to be honest with you, and Penns Manor has the lead 26-23.
Not much you could say. He's rolling out. It was a design run. The receiver, the blocker downfield, I did not look back when Nick got in trouble. He wanted to throw it, but he had no one to throw to because he wasn't looking. Then he tried to force the pass, which is another mistake. So Ben's, unfortunately, learning some very hard lessons here tonight about eating the ball.
They'll go for two here, the Comets, as they always do, this year at least. And Leitner wants to pass, throws out in the flat, wide open. Hamilton dances into the end zone for the two-point conversion. And it's 28-23. Penns Manor with 1:24 left here. We're going to keep it here at Memorial Field. 28-23, Penns Manor. Let's go down to Nick Schmidt. Nick, we were going to talk about your perspective on that interception, but now we'll turn our attention to that interception, which occurred right in front of you, and that's one Ben probably shouldn't have or should have eaten, as Ward mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. At that point, you either just want to tuck or go out of bounds, and if you're going to throw it, chuck it into the stands. That's not one you want to try to make. But then again, there was some poor blocking on that play, and so I won't pin this solely on him. It's a throw he shouldn't have made, but it shouldn't have got to that point in the first place.
All right, and who caught that two-point conversion pass? Was that Lieb or Hamilton?
That was Hamilton, and Nick. Ben's trying to do things out there. He knows he's got to make plays, but he's over. You know, you got to know when to hold him and when to throw him. And that time he should have held it and took his loss. And I'm sure Coach Page has already counseled him on that a couple of times because it's happened twice tonight. Two of Penns Manor's scores, Mark, on that very similar kind of play.
One on a fumble. Onside kick, and Homer Center falls on it at the 46-yard line. That was something Homer Center worked on under the lights. The heat was so bad earlier in the week, they had a practice down here at Memorial Field from 7 to 9, and that was one of the very things they worked on, and that's why.
Paid off. Good call by Penns Manor, getting Homer maybe off guard, but they were ready for it. They definitely need to put a drive together to get that lead back.
Brock Hauser recovered that, by the way.
Still 1:24 to go here in the third period. It's 28-23. Penns Manor ahead in what has been a bizarre football game.
Yeah. Not a thing of beauty by any stretch. Lots of mistakes and turnovers. So the Wildcats start at their own 46. Toss right to Williams. Williams breaks one tackle and gets up near the 48-yard line for a gain of 2 or 3. On the tackle for the Penns Manor Comets was Jimmy Leitner. Leitner, inside linebacker, second on the team with 13 tackles. Tommy Hamilton leads them with 20 tackles, including a sack. 2 yards for Williams.
Yeah, he's been everywhere. It's Hamilton, and Barrett occasionally is showing up everywhere. It's a little disappointing, the size of that Homer front wall. It's not able to get control enough to open some gaps here.
Split backs basically behind Schmidt. Malacker more like an H-back to the left, and they give it to Williams, trying to bounce outside. Does get by a defender on his feet at the 50, 45, 40. On his feet at the 30, 25, 20, and he goes out of bounds after a 32-yard gain. Boy, as we talked on the pregame show, speed absolutely can kill you, and Williams has that ability to make you look silly, and he did that again for a 32-yard gain.
Well, Shamogi come up, and he got a little stiff arm from Logan, and he just missed him. And that allowed him to turn. And once he turns, the Jets come on. And that's what I told Travis. You got to tell him, one cut and go. You can't catch speed. And that's what he does. And he's doing it very well. If he can get to the corner, he can get to the edge.
We'll update Williams' stats after this play. 1st and 10. They give it to Williams again, and this time they have him around the legs as he was trying to bounce outside. Jimmy Leitner stopped him and gets a yard or two to the 19, maybe the 18. Jerry, what about Logan's stats right up to date? We'll get that for you. 16 carries for 117 yards for Williams.
He's coming out now. He's earned them.
Justin Walbeck actually coming out.
Oh, that's Walbeck. I'm sorry. I thought that was Williams.
That's going to be the end of the third quarter. Penns Manor with 2 scores on the board. Homer Center 1. The interception returned by Penns Manor's Zach O'Neill, the difference for now. We head to the 4th, and the Wildcats will be in the Alexander Strength Development red zone with a 2nd down and 8. It's Penns Manor 28, Homer Center 23 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network on an Indiana Regional Medical Center high school sports night. Leitner under center, Lieb in motion, and they give it up the middle, and the Wildcats say no. They have Lieb and push him back, and they do hold him. As a matter of fact, no gain on that play, and that almost certainly will force a punt from Penns Manor, I would think.
Look like Taglietti and Malacker teamed up there. And they got to make certain, first off, if the Comets are going to kick it away. You know they did try a fake earlier, so anything's possible. This game has been so bizarre, who knows?
Logan Williams drops back inside his own territory, but not by much. He stands at his own 47, now his own 46. Dimitri Lieb to punt. Long snapper Tommy Hamilton. And the snap a little bit low, but he gets it out of there. Line drive kick. Chases Williams, and he's going to let it roll, and it takes a Homer or a Penns Manor roll inside the 35. Going to roll dead at the 34 with 8 minutes left in the game. That's where the Comets will take over. The Wildcats will take over after a 42-yard punt. And that's a tough one for Logan, kind of a tweener.
Well, he kicked it away from him, and then that's a lot of field to cover back there, first off. And let's not kick that. You got to chase it down. And he did the smart thing. Stay away from it. If he fumbles it there, game's probably over.
So the Wildcats running out of time here. Looked like they were poised to take the lead, but turnover on quarterback Ben Schmidt at the goal line. Although our Nick Schmidt, and I don't think he was sticking up for baby brother, thought he was in. And but it went Penns Manor's way to Homer Center coaching staff certainly thought
messed up
they were in. Wildcats.
They're going to get delayed. They don't move it here.
Under 8 minutes, and Schmidt with an offset eye gives to Williams. Williams trying to turn the corner. 35 out of bounds at the 39-yard line for a gain of about 5. They actually, they put it down at the 38. I don't think my eyes were, no, it is the 39.
Yeah, he almost made 40-yard line there. Now, he's set these guys up a couple times by doing that, Mark. He's running out of bounds when the guy has his angle cut. What he needs to do is give him a little shoulder out and then cut right up into him. The defender may overrun it, and he'll be able to pick up another 4 or 5 yards.
2nd down, 5 to go for Homer Center. Schmidt from the shotgun with a protector left in Williams, and they fake it to Williams. Here comes Ben near side, first down to the 45 to the 50. Penns Manor territory knocked out of bounds at the Comets' 45-yard line. They fake the dive. Schmidt keeps it, and Schmidt picks up 17 yards, and we'll get an update on Ben's stats here from our statistician, Jerry Rossai. Stats all night long brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank. Time to be first. And Ben Schmidt, 8 carries, 116 yards.
See a little determination on that tackle by Shamogi there by Ben. He lowered his shoulder. He's a frustrated young man. He knows he's made some mistakes. He's trying to atone for them now.
From the Comet 44, the lone setback is Malacker as a protector left, and they're going to pass. Safe pass underneath to Kobe Doherty. Kobe tackled at the 36-yard line. Good effort. Gain of about 8.
Yeah, they're going to give you that cushion. That's a safe pass. Good call on your part. And, you know, Ben has the time to make that throw. It's perfect. The only guy to catch it is Kobe. Nice safe pass. Big 8-yard pickup. Gives you a lot of options here on second down.
Garrett Patterson on the stop for the Penns Manor Comets.
What a game. We knew it'd be this big.
Receiver to the right in front of the Penns Manor bench is Kobe Doherty. Ball on the left hash. Weeks out of the field toward the Wildcat bench. And Schmidt going to keep it again. Baird trying to get his hands around him, and he does. And he limits him to a 1-yard gain. It'll be third down and about a yard. That time Baird was not fooled and did a pretty good job of limiting Schmidt to a 1-yard gain as we move toward the 6-minute mark in this football game. 6:45 clock churning from our S&T Bank broadcast booth. S&T Bank salutes all of our Heritage Conference athletes from the classroom to the gridiron. And these two teams who have battled all night long, 61st meeting, just like we've seen through the years. And the give to Williams, first down, didn't need much, got a couple, and it'll be enough to move the chains for Penns Manor. Andrew Packer getting up off the bottom of the pile, along with Jimmy Leitner and a couple of other white jerseys, but Williams got enough right up the gut.
It might have been a nice time to run the old Jerry Page tight end play, but they decided to play the conservative way, get the first down, and that's fine too because you can need some more clock up here. The thing is, don't turn the ball over anymore.
Keep in mind, 5-point differential, so a touchdown gives Homer Center a 1-point lead. Straight eye behind Schmidt, who goes under center's movement on the left side, but they don't call it. Schmidt going to throw deep. Out there is Doherty. Can he catch up? Touchdown, Homer Center. Left corner of the end zone. 33 yards. Perfectly thrown ball from Schmidt. And the Wildcats back out on front. 29-28. That was a strike from Schmidt to Doherty. Kobe's second of the night.
Good call on your part there. He had to run out, and Ben did a nice job. He didn't get too pumped and threw a streak. He threw it high and let Kobe run under it, and that was perfect. He had plenty of room behind. He had 4 yards anyway on a defender, so a big play. Good call and important conversion here.
So it's been kind of an up and down night for Ben Schmidt, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sure has, and he'll tell you that.
He's going to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Kobe Doherty. Snap a little bit high, but put down by Kobe, and the kick, does it get up through the upright? It does. It didn't make it by much, but it made it. That's all that counts. 555s on the scoreboard clock. 5:55 remaining in the football game. Wow, this thing's been a seesaw affair to say the least.
Far from over, my son.
6 plays, 66 yards. It took 2:03 on an IRMC high school sports night. It's now Homer Center 30 and the Penns Manor Comets 28 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. But I'll tell you anyway that the most points scored in this series, this being the 61st meeting, 67 points. Back in 1963, that was a 60-7 Homer Center victory. This one's certainly not 60-7, is it?
Oh, and it's certainly not over. There was some discussion by the Penns Manor sideline with the officials, and I'm sure it was because of that little flinch that you mentioned, Mark. It wasn't called. And I think they felt they had that one coming. So it's just been weird as heck, and it's certainly not over yet. And Homer's D has really got to come up here and make some plays. It's critical. They've been doing it. Don't get me wrong, but
let's keep
no
everybody
breakdowns.
safe tonight, but when injuries occur on a Friday night, Indiana Regional Medical Center is standing by ready to help with their Saturday morning walk-in injury clinic for a competitive student-athlete, the weekend warrior, and everyone in between. Sprains, strains, fractures, sports injuries, concussions. Get fast and accurate diagnosis every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. X-ray and physical therapy on site. Saturday morning injury clinic open 8 a.m. to noon at the Human Motion Institute building on the campus of Indiana Regional Medical Center, presented by the IRMC Physicians Group, the community's choice. I'm on radio. I can't help you. Concession special. Got to give that one to the public address announcer. All right, so Ben Schmidt has it teed up. We'll check in with his brother Nick Schmidt roaming the sidelines after this kickoff, and it's a squibber taken by Brandon Galantine, who fielded it on a big convenient hop and downs it at the 41. Nick, what do you have down on that Wildcat sideline?
Well, this is a very important drive here. You score here, it's a pretty good chance you seal the game off. But if Penns Manor gets it back, they have a chance to go down and win it. So this is a very – oh, I'm sorry.
You got that? Yeah,
Penns Manor, it's a very critical drive because if they score here, they can win it. My bad.
No, well, you were on the right track, just wrong team with the ball.
Let's a couple plays behind. You'll catch up.
He might have been getting that hot sausage special, and he missed his brother's touchdown pass to Kobe. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line for the Comets. Dimitri Lieb takes the handoff on that jet sweep, trying to get to the corner, and he does to the 45, to the 50, to the 45 of Homer Center. Back comes Penns Manor inside the 40 as he runs for about 20 yards. Homer Center's defense just continues to struggle to find their footing here in 2018.
They're getting blocked. Simple as that. The ends are getting blocked. And I'm not saying it's entirely the ends' fault, but they have got to come in and try to occupy them a little better. And what's happening is that Penns Manor's driving them back and able to get to that second level, which is the corner who's coming up to support. And that's allowing Comets to get to the corner.
From one 41 to the other. From Penns Manor's 41, Lieb takes it to the Wildcats' 41. Wingman to the right in Lieb, split backs behind Jimmy Leitner. Motion man is Dimitri Lieb, but they're going to give to the fullback Samoji, and the Wildcats sniff that out, and they push him back after a 1-yard gain to the 40. Trevor Malacker busted through to make that tackle along with Travis Mock and Justin Walbeck, the freshman. And it's 2nd down and 9 with 5.5 minutes remaining in the football game, and the Wildcats leading 30-28.
I would state the obvious, but this is definitely 4-down territory. Comets will use all 4 downs to try to get another first.
By the way, we've been doing a test tonight with SeaWorld Satellites and Dish Network. If you want to watch the end of this game, we'll give you a little tip after this game, or after this play. Lieb in motion. They're going to fake to Samoji, and Leitner's going to keep it, and Justin Walbeck has Leitner after a 2-yard gain. So the Wildcats, after allowing an 18-yard first down play, stiffen a little bit. Walbeck limits him to a 2-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd down and 7. If you want to watch the end of this game, go to the internet, log on to youtube.com, and search for SeaWorld Satellites.
Big play, obviously, Mark. 3rd down. If you could hold them and make a loss there.
All right. I thought your camera, Andy Hart with the camera, I thought it was black screen. I'm thinking there's nothing on there for me to see. 3rd down and 7, big play, and they give it to Dimitri Lieb, and the Wildcats tackle him at the 35-yard line as he came right to left on that trademark play of the Comets, and it's going to be 4th down for Penns Manor. And about 4 to go, so this could be the ball game, W.A.
Well,
a little bit early to say it.
But it would certainly be a big boost for the Homer defense if they can hold.
Let's see. I thought for a moment they were going to punt, but no, that's not the case. They changed a lot of personnel, I can tell you that.
They're going, obviously they're going. They got 4 yards to pick up here. Homer needs some penetration, Mark.
It's at the 35. They need the Wildcat 31. Leitner under center, wings left and right. Samoji the fullback, motion man And Leitner's back to pass, throws, it is complete. And O'Neill trying to fight for that lead chain, but the Wildcats stop him, and they're going to take over on downs. That play, it looked like it was designed to go to somebody else. Maybe a little bubble screen there, Ward. It just wasn't executed very well.
I think you're right. It looked like the intended receiver was way overthrown, but was it the lead that came in behind him and caught it, but he was running toward his own end zone, so he had to try to make a turn. And fortunately, a pursuit by the Cats got to him before he could do that. So need a couple firsts here. If you're a Homer fan, you need to get at least one first down and burn some clock, probably two, to clinch this thing. You don't want to give the ball up now.
At their own 35-yard line, leading 30-28. Schmidt from the shotgun with Williams in the backfield, and he's going to keep it, and Penn's Manor tackles him right near the line of scrimmage. That wasn't real clean on the exchange, and it was a good snap from Tyler Dunn. I think it was bobbled by Ben, and then a little bit of confusion in the backfield. He does get a yard to the 36-yard line.
And keep in mind, the Comets have been getting burned on that, are starting to pick up on it now, and doing a better job of defending it. So
again, if you want to watch the end of this game, go to youtube.com and log on or use the search engine SeaWorld Satellites, and you should be able to find it. A little test we've been doing all night long. Ciani, receiver to the left, 2nd and 9, and a flag, and it's going to be delay of game on Homer Center with 2:36 left in the football game. And the reason we didn't mention the digital video cast is because it is a trial, it's a test, working out some kinks on it, and so in case it didn't go off well, and there have been a few issues we've been battling tonight, and we've been out of it, but Andy Hart and the folks at Dish Network, but should be able to get a pretty decent view of the conclusion of this game at youtube.com and the search engine SeaWorld Satellites. 2nd down, 14 after the penalty. Schmidt back to pass. Schmidt looking. Now pump fake. Comes to the left. Throws underneath incomplete. Intended for Logan Williams at the 40-yard line with 2.5 minutes left. And it'll be 3rd down and 14.
You have something down there, Nick?
Let's go down to the sideline reporter and Nick Schmidt. Nick?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump back momentarily to that 4th and 4 play. It was actually a designed bubble screen, but the reason it looked so ugly was because Jake Ciani came off the edge, and he actually jumped in the passing lane, so the quarterback had to pump fake it and delay.
That's a great call.
Yeah, good pickup there. Boy, this is a big play. You know, probably get Ben, don't throw the ball. The clock stops. So that's saving the timeout for the Comets. 2.5 minutes, long time yet.
Garrett Patterson matches up on Kobe Doherty, who's a receiver to the left boundary. They put Travis Mock in motion, and Schmidt takes it, throws it out to Doherty at the 30 to the 35, cuts to the center of the field to the 40, breaks a tackle and has a first down into Penn's Manor territory. And the Wildcats will move the chains, and 2 Penn's Manor Comets appear injured back in their own territory. Patterson is getting up slowly, trying to drag himself up off the field, and Lou Idzotic blows it dead. But what a big pickup on 3rd and 14.
I don't know what you said. That's a great job by Kobe Doherty. Saw the gap, knew where he needed to be, caught the ball, didn't try to do too much, just ran to some daylight, as they said, and was able to get the first down and more. Just a great play.
23-yard gain.
Wow, a safe pass again in the flat, and that's the whole idea of those things, is you get your runner out in the open field and let him do his thing. And Kobe that time, that was just great execution there.
You're probably going to see ground and pound now and try to make Penn's Manor use their timeouts. Power I formation behind Ben Schmidt, and he gets to the deep back Williams. Williams makes a quick move. That was a jump cut, and he jump cuts it for 10 yards to the 36-yard line, very close to another first down.
That's perfect. That's perfect, because you got to run another play or two to get a first down, and you're using your clock, and you get another first down in the process.
Now the young sophomore quarterback wants to watch that back judge, And when his hand goes up, you have 5 seconds to run the play. We're down to 92 seconds left in this football game. 30-28 Homer Center. It's been crazy. Second down and a yard. Schmidt hands to Williams. Williams protects the ball, has a first down inside the 35, very close to the 34-yard line, and Penns Manor's going to take a timeout. With 1:20 remaining in the football game, Indiana Regional Medical Center High School Sports Night coverage continues. Been a lot of great games between these two teams. This one, not a thing of beauty, not artistic as far as being perfection with mistakes both ways, but it's certainly been entertaining. Wildcats 30, Comets 28. Coming back to finish it on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network.
Works.
First and 10 Homer Center from the Comet 34. Logan Williams has 5 yards to the 29-yard line as a Comet comes in a little bit late, but no flag, no harm, no foul, according to the officials, and the Comets are going to take another timeout, and I think that may be their final timeout. Let's see what Lou Idzotic says. No, evidently not. That's their second. 1:12 left in the football game. We'll break for 30. We'll give you Kobe Doherty's stats when we return to with the Wildcats leading 30-28 on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network. We are finishing this football game here. We thank Ross Legal for their sponsorship.
You know, this kind of formation, Logan could pop it easily here if he breaks through there.
Second down and 5. They feed him the ball again, and Penns Manor tackles him after about a 2-yard gain. They try stripping it. And is Penns Manor out of timeouts now? I thought I saw Lou Idzotic say 2 timeouts remaining. They're out of timeouts? Okay, Denny Mester, our spotter in the booth, says out of timeouts. So clock continues to roll down to 45 seconds left in the game. Third down and 3. And quite frankly, one play here should do it.
Should do it if as long as Homer can hold on to the ball. You know, hats off to Penns Manor.
Well, both coaches
battle,
up here, both coaches will be visiting up here on the press box following the game for our post-game interviews. Third down and 3, that's insignificant. Ben Schmidt going to take a knee, and that's going to do it. That's going to wrap up this extremely hard-fought football game that had plenty of big plays, some of them off of mistakes. And the Wildcats do prevail. They kind of made it hard on themselves, didn't they?
Do you think? I mean, 2 turnovers returned for touchdowns. That makes it pretty tough, especially when you're looking to take control of the football game. But you got to give them credit. They were resilient. They kept coming back. They kept battling back. Their defense has been weak, and it rose to the occasion when it had to. I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. There isn't any doubt about that. As we see Mr. Graham here sticking his head in there.
All right, we'll see him at the post-game tailgate, Ian Graham.
And it's a win, and it's a win that Homer really needed, Mark, I think, to get them in the right direction here on this season. So we'll see what it does as a springboard.
Homer Center's 2-1. The Comets dropped back-to-back games after losing to Ligonier last week. So they're 1-2. Wildcats 2-game winning streak. So they're on the right side of 500. Our final score here tonight, Homer Center 30 and the Penns Manor Comets 28. Stay with us for our first Commonwealth Bank post-game show, which will feature interviews from both head coaches up here in the press box. Coming back with more with the first Commonwealth Bank post-game show. Again, the final. We hope you enjoyed it. Homer Center 30 and the Penns Manor Comets 28. Right here on the WCCS Wildcat Football Network.
This isn't Mark Reddick. This is Ward Hilliard, and I'm fortunate enough to have my buddy, head coach Billy Packer, who's not feeling real good tonight, but I think you ought to. I said at the beginning of the ball game, you guys prepare as well as any team, and I thought you did an excellent job in prepping for Logan Williams and trying to keep him contained.
Yeah, we knew what an athlete he is. We watched him both games, and boy, against Purchase Line, he ran all over the field. He gets loose, he's gone. There's not too many people who are going to catch him, and unfortunately, there's some holes in our defensive backs missed him, and you miss him, he's gone.
Hey, I didn't know if they were tired, Bill, because this was a very tough ball game, back and forth quite a bit. But I really felt your guys controlled the inside line play, and I would have expected Homer to do just the opposite. So that's a credit to what you guys did defensively.
Yeah, I was pleased with our defensive line. I thought we did a nice job inside. They had a hard time running up inside, but they got us on the edge. We practiced that quarterback counter I don't know how many times, and they still got us on it. But they prepare. You're talking about prepare well. Greg always prepares well, and we know it going in.
Well, I thought you made some great defensive stands, but Tommy Hamilton, to me, I said at the pregame that he has always been a factor. I know he's only been around a couple of years. He didn't play a lot last year, but anytime he's on the field against Homer Center, he just shows up.
He does. He's a good athlete for us. I think towards the end we just wore him out a bit, and he got tired a little bit, and you can't go 100% sometimes, and unfortunately you can't just throw somebody else in there that can play the ball like he can play. So, I'm really happy with the way he plays. He gives you 100%, and that's all you can ask.
You guys, I want to ask you about this. We did talk off camera about it, but the fake punt really wasn't supposed to be a fake punt. Now, nobody up here knew that. We thought, oh, man, he's going to be a riverboat gambler again. That's Billy.
No.
That wasn't Billy, that wasn't.
No way. We were expecting him to punt the ball there. I mean, we practiced the rugby punt, and he was coming out. I figured, okay, you're punting it. And I couldn't believe he tucked it away and put it down and didn't get it. And, that was a big momentum change and gave him short field.
You ever seen a game that you've been involved with so many swings and momentum? This is typical Homer Penn's Manor game when you're evenly balanced the way you are. I just cannot remember one that was just swinging back and forth like this thing did.
I don't remember one like this. It was back and forth, and we felt if we had the ball last, that would be a good thing. But fortunately, we didn't finish our drive off down here at the end, and give Homer a lot of credit. They stopped us and, ran the clock out. Got a few first downs, a couple big first downs, and especially on that pass play. I think it was 3rd and 14 or something, and give the kid credit. He broke a lot of tackles, and he got that first down.
Well, I know you guys are not feeling real good after the loss, but I was very impressed with the way you performed. Typical Penn's Manor team, no quit in them. A lot of season left. I'm sure we're going to be talking to you down the road a little bit later in the season.
I hope so, Ward. I hope so. We got to pick it up and put it behind us now, and we have a tough United team coming in next week. Another team that's going to be big up front, and hopefully we can do a good job.
Well, good luck to you, Bill. Thanks for the time here, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Ward. Thank you.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. We welcome you back into the booth at Memorial Field with head coach Greg Page after this extremely hard-fought 30-28 victory over the Penn's Manor Comets. And, Coach, you didn't make it easy on yourselves, did you?
No, we sure didn't. Again, I told the Gazette, credit to Penn's Manor. We were bigger than them up front, and they fought and scrapped, and they have good skill guys, and we found a way at the end to win the game. I mean, it was mistake-filled, back and forth with a lot of crazy plays, but we prevailed, and I give our kids credit for that.
I think you overcame 4 turnovers tonight. It was a crazy game, back and forth. Things started for you in special teams in the wrong way with a 48-yard punt return by Matt Samoji, who, credit him, made a nice play, but eluded a couple of tacklers maybe plays that could have been made that weren't, but they're up as a result 8-0.
Yeah, and with their return game, they like to wall towards their or at least go towards their sideline, and they did, and I thought we had guys that should have stepped up, and that's part of the times, when things are on the downswing that we're questioning their toughness, because you just got to come up, you got to fight off blocks and make tackles, and we just had guys that looked like they were, weaving around and maybe trying to make a tackle
an angle tackle down at the 5, and you can't do that against good athletes.
You come back, you drive, you have a second and goal at the 5-yard line, and then a hold and an intentional grounding. Next thing you know, it's 4th and goal at the 29, so that one kind of bogged down, and I know you weren't happy.
No, we can't have penalties. I mean, we get down there. This team has to learn how to finish drives, and I now remember what you said. The 4th turnover was the goal line quarterback sneak. But yeah, we can't make penalties. We can't hold. We can't jump. We can't jump illegal procedure. We just got to come up. We're trying to run simple plays in those situations. Get off the football and get forward.
Logan Williams, who went over 100 yards again tonight, got your momentum back on your side on your next drive on a 36-yard run, and it was tough sledding. They made things difficult for Logan and your offense, didn't they?
They do. They'll a lot of times they'll bring that 6-man front, and you don't know which side somebody like Hamilton's coming from. A lot of times it's wide side or right side, and he'll pressure the passer if you don't get a blocker out in front of him. He'll crash hard if you're trying to run off tackle. I thought Baird did some good things on the other side, 88. But in that particular case, we were able to get a kick out and get him up through the seam. And then, you see if you get him in the open field, I'll take our chances.
Yeah, no kidding. And then you take the lead on a nice drive, 4 plays, 60 yards. Kobe another reception, 3rd and 8. Schmidt hits Doherty for a 36-yard touchdown pass. And it was kind of a hot and cold night. A lot of good things for your sophomore quarterback, but a few plays you'd probably both like to have back, right?
Yeah, and, we got on him about it. He had the one where it's 15-8 us, and we're going in before the end of the half, and it was an ill-advised attempt to try to throw the ball when he's getting sacked, and he's still young. I mean, I'll take the trade-off because he comes back and makes some great plays, and he alerted a play in one of our later drives where we were lined up wrong, and we would have been running our big 200-some-pound fullback on a stretch play, and that's not going to work. So he alerted that out of that and made a nice pass call, and we were able to get some positive yardage there. He does more good things than some of the mistakes.
Yeah, so after the mistake to close the half, he starts the second half with a 53-yard touchdown run. Like Logan, he was over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, I mean, his legs are good too. We have some things, and there's some things tonight we didn't show either with him in the ground game. But if we can get him up the field, he's got deception speed. He doesn't look like he's running real fast, but he's so athletic, and he does have good speed.
Penns Manor takes the lead again, 28-23 on an interception return. We kind of covered that mistake. That was one of the downsides to Ben Schmidt's night, but then they try to catch in an onside kick, something I saw you work on the other night, and Brock Hauser recovered it, and that was kind of a big play that maybe doesn't make the box score, but huge.
And it's coming from a kid who really works hard and is getting better. He's a sophomore. He's a good kid, so he works hard. So we put him on a couple of those special teams, and the ball was bouncing funny, and he made a good play. So credit to Brock.
That fumble that you alluded to inside the 1-yard line, Nick Schmidt, our sideline reporter, thought maybe he had reached it across for a touchdown, but the next thing you know, Penns Manor comes up out of the scrum at the half-yard line with football. What did you see? What kind of explanation did you get?
I had a bad angle, but all I got was that the umpire made the call that it was a fumble, so I don't know how he can see that the ball crosses or doesn't cross the plane of the goal line. I tried to talk to one of the linesmen on our side, and he said the umpire made the call, and I thought, well, I'm going to argue that he broke the plane, but I'm not down there. I mean, I'm at the 25, so my angle's skewed. So you fight from there, and then we got a penalty on third down on a. I just thought it was two guys making a really good, physical
play.
tackle. Yeah, but fortunately we held them there and we got the ball back.
Yeah, and you went on a game-winning drive because clock was becoming an issue, wasn't it? And the guys came through. Ben Schmidt's 16-yard run again, and then a 33-yard pass was really a thing of beauty. At first, you're thinking, is Kobe going to be able to run under it? And run under it he did, and hauls it in. And that was a thing of really a picture of beauty from up here in the booth.
Your thought was my thought, too. I was hoping he'd get there. And, earlier in the season in the scrimmage a couple times, he wasn't getting there, whether it was overthrown or it was him. But, that's what work does, when you work on that stuff in your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday situation. So,
young man that's still learning the game. I wanted to point this out because Penns Manor comes back. Defense stops them on 4th down. Looked like maybe they were trying to run a bubble screen. And I thought the guy that really busted it up, Jake Ciani, and, didn't make a tackle, I don't think, but kind of disrupted it.
Well, you're talking about the one that was floated up towards their side. I thought, well, there's no way their guy's going to catch it. Well, he does. I think it was Hamilton And then the next thing I know, I'm watching him and watching the sticks, and I'm thinking it would be just our night if he wormed his way out of there and got a first down. We had some guys converge. So, yeah, Jake's been doing a nice job. When he comes and brings pressure, he's a quick kid too. So, that hurries a kid like that up. And I thought Leitner made a quick decision to get rid of the ball because it's fourth down, but fortunately it was kind of a broken play.
7 receptions tonight for Kobe Doherty for, let's see here, 157 yards, I think, 2 touchdowns. Williams, 142 rushing yards. Ben Schmidt, 117. Boy, that's some big nights by your skill folks.
It is. It is. I mean, again, we're going against some athletes. They're not big on their defensive side, but again, they'll bring pressure fronts and they'll bring guys from different spots, and you just got to try to find holes. It was hard calling plays. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, some of that stuff worked, but they make it real difficult for you.
Coach, it's in the win column. It's on the road to Marion Center next Friday night. You're on the right side of 500 after a season opening loss, and despite some of the trials and tribulations, you have to feel pretty good about it.
I do. I was glad to see the clock tick off and we win the game. And going to Marion Center is going to be tough. I saw they won tonight over PL, so they're going to be sky high. And we're going over to their place, and it's a tough place to play. So we're just going to have another good week. We have to.
Coach's post-game interview brought to you by Alexander Roll-Off Services. We'll let you roll on out of here after a hard-fought 30-28 victory.
Thanks, guys.
Head coach Greg Page on our First Commonwealth Bank post-game show. And we'll give you the stats in this game before we say goodnight for Homer Center in the rushing department. 22 carries, 142 yards for Logan Williams. Ben Schmidt, as I mentioned, 11 carries, 117 yards. Chipped in 8 yards for Trevor Malacker. It all totaled up to 36 rushes for 267 yards for Homer Center. Passing, Ben Schmidt, 9 of 13 for 164 yards and a couple of touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So 45 offensive plays for 431 yards for Homer Center. For Penns Manor, 45 rushes, 253 yards. They were led by Tommy Hamilton. Ward Hilliard talked about him. 14 carries, 106. Dimitri Lieb, the sophomore, 13 carries for 84 yards. 51 yards on 15 carries for Matt Samoji, who added that punt return for a touchdown. 45 rushes, 253. Through the air, only 2 of 6 for 7 yards and an interception. And that, I think, was the difference in the game, Homer Center's ability to pass the football. So total yards of 260 for Penns Manor. On our out-of-town scoreboard, Marion Center defeats Purchase Line 20-8. So the Stingers are off the snide. They're 1-2, dropping the Red Dragons to 0-3. Blairsville wins their first over their rival Salzburg 38-26. Northern Cambria is now 3-0. They go out to West Shamokin and win 36-14. Ligonier Valley, they continue to roll up at Thomas Medill Athletic Field in Armagh. They down United 47-7. And Indiana, good for them. They shut out Ringgold 48-0, minus their head coach Brandon Overdorf, who tore his ACL in the season opener, but he had surgery. I don't think he was able to make the trip, but his team gets them a win. That'll speed his recovery as the Little Indians improve to 1-2. And right here at Memorial Field, in front of a big crowd on the 61st all-time meeting, the Wildcats edge Penns Manor 30-28. As for our Walbeck Insurance player of the game, we're going to go with receiver Kobe Doherty, who hauled in a couple of passes. 7 receptions for 161 yards, says our statistician Jerry Rossai. A couple of touchdowns. Kobe also had a good game defensively and helping to lead the Wildcats to a hard-fought victory where they had to overcome 4 turnovers. So we'll be on the road at Marion Center next Friday night. Airtime will be 6:20 from Dr. John Molino Stadium. Kickoff at 7. For our statistician, Jerry Rossai. Jerry, wave to everybody out there in Radio Land. Good night. They're not seeing you on the video camera, though, Jerry. Our spotter in the booth, Dennis Mester. And our executive producer of Wildcat Sports back at the studios, Michael Burdick, speaking for Ward Hilliard. Mark Burdick reminding you that the Wildcats win it over Penns Manor, dropping Penns Manor to 1-2. Homer Center now 2-1. The final score from the corner of Lincoln and Harrison Streets in the borough of Homer City at Memorial Field. Homer Center 30 and the Penns Manor Comets 28. Until we talk to you next Friday night, so long, everybody.